Welcome to Despite Popular Belief, where we discuss Reformed biblical theology in a culture full of opinions and agendas. I'm Stephen Lauterbach, and today I want to give a quick review about Disney Pixar's Soul. This film featured in a London Film Festival back in October of this year, but because of the circumstances with the country being shut down due to the virus, it was just released on Disney Plus, the streaming service, and that came out on Christmas. Now, right off the bat, I want to tell you this film is worth watching. The animation, I would give it 10 out of 10. It was incredible. It was really good. And I'll tell you, I was also excited about the musical element of it. There's a lot of musical theory in it and emotional musical theory too, which was super cool. The musicianship was incredible in there. So let me start out with those great qualities first. Now, I wanted to watch this film before I showed it to my son, who's 2 years old, because obviously with the title like Soul, we know that it's probably going to reference the afterlife, right? And if we saw the trailer, we knew that's the direction it was going to go. Well, lo and behold, the film is about your soul and where we come from, where we go. Interestingly enough, Disney has been doing a lot of afterlife exploration in their past couple of films. Coco, which again, really colorful, cool film, but you have these strong themes of in their culture that in the afterlife, if your family forgets you, you're gone. You cease to exist altogether. That's quite terrifying. And for a kid's movie, it's like, that's kind of interesting. Moana, when the elders pass away, they somehow meld with the elements. It's not destructive for a child to watch something like this, but if they're not completely familiar with the biblical view of where we come from and where we go when we die, this is something you got to talk to your kids about. Here is my biggest concern about it, and keep in mind too, this comes from a parent's point of view. The dimension where the souls start out and where they go are both very abstract. When you watch the film, you'll pick up on it right away. Just the entities that are there that guide the souls to and from are literally abstract. Now you got to ask yourself, why does that matter? What is abstract? Well, abstract is left up to interpretation, right? You see the figure, you see the object or item, and it's not really, it's not realistic, but you know what it is. So there's left room for interpretation. So why would this be critical to analyze before showing it to your kids? Well, if the film, without giving away plot points, if the film is telling you about some sort of unknown abstract that souls start out in, really, your child is left there to think, well, that character's cool. Well, this place seems very optimistic and lighthearted, and they make some jokes about, this group of people will have anxiety, and this group of people will have this and that. Okay, maybe it's a little clever, but Christians should know this, and I want to read this scripture for you here. This comes from Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16. You're going to recognize it immediately. For you formed my inward parts, you wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my unformed substance, and in your book were all written, the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them. So, as Christians, we know that this is where we come from, right? We come from Creator God. Keep that in mind when you show this film to your kids, and maybe even reconsider. If your kids don't fully comprehend, the language, like let's say they're 2 or younger or whatever, I might hesitate to show that to them until they're able to have conversation with you. Now, we don't have to get legalistic about this, but soteriology, the study of salvation, this stuff is critical, foundational stuff. So if your children are at an impressionable age and they're watching something abstract, like where we come from, again, just keep this consideration in mind and definitely have the conversation with them if they're going to watch this, and just let them know, hey, this is just a story. but also think about like what motives might Disney have if they want to keep making these films about the afterlife. It's very interesting. We know they push some agendas here and there, but like the afterlife stuff, man, that is really ramping up lately. I think overall the film was entertaining. It almost doesn't seem like it's for kids because, well, just because of that element of, well, life after death. But I will say there are strong themes of purpose and fulfillment. So like those parts of the film I thought were pretty cool. Well, I hope you find this information useful. Maybe consider giving it a watch through before you show it to your kids and make the decision for yourself. Again, we don't have to be legalistic about this stuff, but abstract leaves room for interpretation. And if we're to guide our children and raise them up in the Lord, then we need to be diligent about these things. Again, this is Stephen Lauterbach from Despite Popular Belief. If you like this content, we do have a podcast show. It's on all major podcasting platforms, and we are also available at manifoldministries.com. Stand before kings.